Hello, everybody, and welcome back. If you were with us 5 minutes ago, and if you're coming on with us, welcome to our day 2 of the Scrapbooking Fun Summit. And we are here live with Pam from Stellar Crafts by Pam. We are going to talk about a very cool card and concept. And just a quick thank you to our sponsors. So we have KB Riley was our event sponsor, and we have Riley & Co., who's our day sponsor. So we really want to thank them. We also have with our creative sponsors, which is Whimsy Stamps and Zebra Pens Canada. And then we have our other 2 sponsors who are Tracy, who sponsors Embellish Connections, sponsors tomorrow. And then we had Creative Fabrica the day before. I think I got them all. Whew. Good mouthful.
Whimsy Stamps. Did you say Whimsy Stamps?
I did say Whimsy.
You did. Sorry.
That's okay.
Tracy's not listening. It's all good. Keep talking.
So welcome back. We have Debbie back. At least we have a few people watching.
Yeah,
so,
Debbie.
Hi, welcome here. And we are here with Pam. And we're going to start with some general questions that we do, which is, I'm going to switch you to the bigger picture. Just give me a sec. It always switches me in first. There we go. Just a quick question of where are you in the world?
I am in New Jersey in the United States. So I'm on the East Coast.
Excellent. And how are you a card maker, scrapbooker, multimedia, crafter? How do you categorize yourself, if you could?
I would say maybe crafter, card maker, content creator. I mostly like to make cards more than anything. When I have the time, I'll make content for my blog and YouTube channel. And I do dabble in some other crafts like felt stitching, crochet, mixed media, things like that.
Excellent. Yes, there's a very different thing about crocheting or knitting than doing cards. They have a different kind of, you can sit on the couch and knit or crochet. You can't do that so much with cards. I suspect people do that, though.
Yeah, I've tried and I failed usually. I end up losing some pieces in the couch somehow.
Yes, that makes sense. All the things, Debbie. I'm not sure if Debbie's saying all the things to what she does or she's answering someone. How did you get into card making?
About 10 years ago, I joined this community online called Swapbot. And so I started exchanging crafts with people all over the world. And sometimes crafts, stamps, like postage stamps, currency, things like that. And I joined a card making one. I've never made a card before. I'd done paper crafting. I'd done scrapbooking and other crafts. And then I did the card making one and I fell in love with it. After making my first card, I think I went to Joann's. I got one of those like cheap dollar stamps that they had, and I got a stamp block and put it on. And that was my first time trying like a clear stamp. And I loved it. So I just kept on going.
Excellent. So I'm going to ask a question that we've been asking lots of card makers. Do you make a card for a specific person, or do you make cards and then they find their home?
Most of the time I make cards specifically for a person. So like I keep this birthday box of when birthdays are coming up throughout the year. And then once I see someone's birthday is coming up, I go ahead and I make a card and personalize it to them. I try to add any details of things that they might like or enjoy or yeah. And then I'm going blank on the question again.
Do you make cards for a person, or do you have cards that are made and that you can grab because something comes up?
Yeah, so I usually make them for a person. Sometimes what I do is I take classes and then I have just random cards laying around. So then I will send those out to people. I do Christmas cards and usually I do usually mass produce those. So it's for everybody. And sometimes I just complete kits or just start playing around and make them for fun. But usually it's with a purpose.
Yeah, and it's different. We've had some people who say they batch make sympathy cards and they have them when something happens, or thank you cards or that kind of thing. So it's cool to know. Can you tell us a little bit about your project that you did for the summit, which I thought was a very cool, and it wasn't a Christmas card, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah, so I decided to go with these cute little stamps from Valentine, and I love the Valentine brand. You can totally mix and match all their supplies, all their stamps go together. You can really have fun making some scenes and just personalizing your cards. What I decided to focus on is how to tweak maybe supplies that are made for certain seasons of the year or yeah, that are made for certain seasons of the year and taking it to make it for a completely different holiday. So for instance, the Happy Harvest stamp set that came out with years ago and the You Pro Girl stamp set that just came out with, which kind of goes together. And what I've seen most people just, make these typical like fall harvest type cards. But I wanted to focus on a love type of card. When I saw them today, I was like, oh, they gotta go together. So I decided to make it into a Valentine's Day card by challenging myself to come up with a Valentine's Day theme. I had created a different card that was like fall themed, and I was like, okay, well, what other colors could I color them? And I decided to go with like a red and pink theme. And then, same with the pumpkins, like, pumpkins are orange. I made them pink just because that's what I wanted to do. And, the paper pad that I used, is a Lawn Fawn Christmas paper pad, but what I have done recently, to make sure I'm making use of my pattern paper, just because I usually make my own backgrounds, so when I use pattern paper, it's not very often. So what I did is I took all the pieces out of my pattern paper, pads. I kept the ones that I wanted, got rid of the ones that I didn't like, and the ones that I kept, I ended up putting them in categories, whether it was by color, by type of background, by theme, because a lot of times, and with this paper pad especially, you go through the paper pad and there's paper that can fall for any type of like any time of the year, not just the theme that it is. So it was Christmas. So like the background paper, it kind of had this I forget what I called it, but the pattern that's on the back of it is more kind of like a fall type of thing to me. And I've seen where paper pads have like dots and stripes and things like that, and they can go for not just certain holidays; they can go for any
Mhm.
time of the year. So I find it useful to kind of break those things up. My stamps, I use a inventory system to color my life, and when I put tags to each of my stamps, I put anything I can think of. So for these stamp sets, I might put love, man, woman, couple, anniversary, love, fall, things like that. So that when I go to my phone and go to color my life and I'm searching for a love stamp, those stamp sites might come up. So that I can, you know, utilize them more than just for what they were made to do.
And that's awesome. I mean, we often talk in our circle, which is our membership, about organization, because it seems like, how do you organize all this stuff and remember what you have? And
Yeah.
so to categorize, I know that we had last time we had Justine Hovey, who did a presentation on using Airtable. Similar idea of putting things together and organizing it. So it's a great idea to look at what you have, and it's not just what it is. Because
Exactly.
somebody could have just said scarecrow.
Exactly. Yeah, and what I also did for the summit, if you sign up as a VIP member, I created a what is it? Craft your stash guide, and I go through tips and tricks to kind of how you can organize your supplies in your craft room, utilize them to make the best use of them all year round. And there's some tips and tricks that I think are really helpful, and I share those ideas and ways that I organize my stuff. So if you're a
That's
VIP,
great.
make sure you get that.
Yes, if you're a VIP,
Very
check
good.
that out. There's such great value in the VIP package if you haven't bought it. And there's another example of, organization and putting stuff together and doing it for the VIP. So check it out. Suzette's here, and we were joking the other day because Suzette didn't have room to put something. So we said we should use the pulleys on the ceiling. So if we don't, start putting it was her Cricut or her Better Press. I can't remember. It was a thing. She's like, I have no place to put
Yeah.
it. Well, we could just put it on the ceiling and use little pulleys and put it down and bring it up. So,
Right?
organization's a big thing
I
to
know my
do.
room is full too.
Well, we've
I
got
have
the
like
ceiling up
everything
there.
in every inch of my room.
So someone said they love the idea of using supplies for a different season. I think that's great. In fact, Tracy, write that down as a challenge for our circle.
You're right.
So we do different challenges every month in our membership, which is a Scrapbooking Fun Circle. Every month there's a different challenge. And sometimes they're use your stash and sometimes they're more themed. But there would be a good one. You used interesting supplies like the glue pen. Use your little glue
It's something I normally use. If I want to be honest, like a lot of my inspiration comes from other content creators. So a lot of this inspiration came from Jen Shirkus. She uses that quickie glue pen. She uses that glitter. And that was something I never really thought to do before I saw her videos. And now all my lawn fawn cards, I add glitter. There's either that chunky glitter, there is either the quickie glue with the fine Prisma glitter. So I try to take inspiration from anywhere, from everyone.
Does glitter, I mean, this is a silly question and it probably doesn't make any sense for people who I don't do cards. Does glitter add weight to what you're doing? Like glitter and the glue, does it add weight to a card or it doesn't really matter?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't think it would add too much weight.
No, I would, but yeah, I was just thinking the glue itself plus the glitter would add, or does it add? Does it add
the
thickness?
pen itself is like it comes out very thin and flat. The other glue that I use, the other liquid type glue, that is a little bit thicker, so I use a bigger glitter for that. So that might add a teeny bit of weight.
Well, because what I'm hearing a lot is mailing cards is expensive these days, so you're always trying to keep them thin and not heavy.
Yeah,
however.
I mean, I don't think it's like that much. Honestly, on my card, the way that I use my foam, it's pretty much, it's not like any higher than the foam is on my cards.
So
and usually what I do is I put it in a normal envelope and then I put a piece of cardboard on the front and on the back and I send it that way. Usually I stick 2 stamps on there and never have an issue.
That makes sense. So does that card have a home? Has it got a recipient at some point in time?
Maybe for my husband for Valentine's Day. I ended up making 2 of them, so I'm not sure what to do with the other one. Do I give it to my daughter? I don't know.
You give it to somebody to give to their sweetheart.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys have any questions for Pam about her project, about like such as in the VIP package? And I was trying, what was your free gift? Was it the SVG files or was
the free gift was the Copic coloring guide.
Oh yeah, the Copic
coloring guide. If you download this, it's 9 pages. It breaks down all of the different images and how I colored them, what markers I used, how I added the white accents and glitter, and even the little the black glaze pen to the eyes to give it a little bit of a dimension and shine. So it has all of that info.
Do you do a lot of coloring on your cards?
I usually do, and it's kind of a mix now. I don't have that many Copic markers, maybe like 75-ish, if that. And I don't have them all. I don't see a reason to have them all. I usually get them in like a pair of 3. So if I like one color, I'll get the color below it and the color above it. And with what I have, that's enough to do the coping coloring that I like to do. I would say maybe 50% of my cards are coloring. The other 50% are probably like some type of mixed media, background, stenciling, things like that.
What are your favorite colors? I'm just curious with the Copics. And then I see the lilac and whatnot and behind you, and then you got the pink cards. I was like, go ahead. Sorry.
Fun story about the rainbow back there. I actually moved into this house 2 years ago and it was already there. So I was like, well, that's my craft room. Even has like a rainbow fan. So we just haven't gotten around to painting it or anything. But yeah, I like purples and I like magenta. And since it was purple, I was like, okay, that works out.
What's your favorite technique? Do you have a favorite technique when you're making cards, or?
Anytime I make cards, I think my favorite go-to techniques is kind of like what I did with this card. It's like a storytelling, coming up with like a little story and making a scene for it. And then I also like doing stencil layering as well to create different backgrounds.
Okay.
And use our blending brushes. I have a ton over here that I use. And I use it with my dye inks and oxide inks. So that's fun.
So you have a color theme going on there, I hear.
Yeah.
You like to color and create. Well, it's kind of cool because some people don't like that at all, right? We definitely get card makers and paper crafters who don't want to color and don't like coloring and doing that. Debbie colors as well. I know that. But some people don't like the coloring at all and they don't want to have anything to do with it.
No, I have all sorts of coloring things, all sorts of coloring mediums, mixed media, things like that, sprays, pastes, things like that.
Fun.
What is something that you want to try next? Either you have it and you're going, yeah, I got to try this, or this is your future. I just had that thought.
I think I know one of the things I want to try was a better press machine, and there was the foiling one, that machine that does the I forget what it's called.
The hot glimmer.
Yeah, those are two things I've been wanting to try that I haven't tried yet. Other than that, I've been trying to work on my alcohol inks. I kind of want to perfect that. I don't think it's as easy as it looks.
Yes.
So
they're popular.
Makes perfect. They make really cool backgrounds.
Yes. And I find, I have a couple clients who it's like, oh, I'll show you the alcohol inks, and they show me, I'm like, yeah, it's just not me. But can you do some amazing backgrounds or anything? Yes, the mixed media and stuff like that you could do with it, of course. Like I know in Brandy's class tomorrow, she's got the alcohol inks, she's using them. And anyways, you could definitely do a lot with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see that Becky here, she says she likes to color, but she's not really good at it. Lawn Fawn now comes out with these stencils that you can overlay on the stamped images and just use a blending brush and some ink, and you can just blend over different spots of the image. So it's not like using markers or watercolor or anything like that. It makes it pretty simple.
No, there's lots of stuff like that too. I know. Lisa Horton does layering stencils as well. But you know what? We're never good at anything. Just play and practice. Actually, Debbie, you took the words right out of my mouth. Just play and practice.
Yep. Yeah. My Copic coloring, it's not the best. It's not like professional or anything. But I watch other content creators. I watch other people in their crafts and look at pictures and read guides. And I think, I've grabbed some tips here and there that have really helped my Copic coloring, at least to the extent of Copic coloring that I want to do.
And that's it too, right? We can't all be professionals. Kind of have to play with it and do it and see what you're doing. So just play and practice. That is honestly the best way to get anything done with all of what we're doing. None of us are perfect the first time we pick up something. So
I still, those alcohol inks, they are difficult for me.
They are more. There's lots. I mean, you guys have so much different things that you can do. I mean, crafting can be overwhelming, and paper crafting, as I have learned in the last couple of years, can be even more overwhelming because you have so many different things you can try.
And then you think you've got it all down pat, and boom, here's all the new things. You're like, oh boy, right?
Well, and you know what? I think that would surprise people who aren't in this world. Like if somebody didn't card make or scrapbook, they wouldn't think that it's constantly being innovated. Right? They wouldn't necessarily think that. They just think, well, it's just paper and cards. How could it be innovative? But it's huge. There's lots of innovation in your tools and what you do. So that's interesting. That was a cool glitter tube that had the attached spoon on the lid. Do you know where it came from?
The little tubs, I think, came from Amazon. If not Amazon, then the dollar store. I've definitely seen them on there too. The little clips are like they're like little command hooks. They're tiny. And then the spoons are like tasting spoons I found on Amazon.
So you created something new. There you go.
Well, I got the idea from someone else. But I've seen a lot of people do it, and it works for me as well.
So true. I need to play with alcohol inks and gel press and fun folds, but don't want to stop playing with dyes, foils, and lights. Anyone want to donate their extra time to me? Sure, Debbie.
Right? There's just never enough time.
Do you guys sleep? That would be the thing. Debbie, do you ever sleep? We'll find out when we go to the other day. Do you ever sleep with these things?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, that's the challenge. How much time do you spend making cards? Like, how do you fit that into your life?
It's been difficult lately. With an 18-month-old, it was difficult for a while because she was young and I need to be there like every second. Now she's on her feet and she's moving around and getting into everything. I recently set up her art easel in here so that she can kind of color on her easel while I'm crafting over here. So I get maybe like 20 to 30 minutes with her, maybe 1 hour to 2 hours a day if I'm lucky. And then usually I'll set aside like one day a month where I just craft the entire day, like on a Saturday or Sunday or something.
That's a great idea, actually, too, because we have one of our circle members. So we have a membership, and one of our circle members is in Alaska, and she has a family crafting day every month.
Oh, that's awesome.
And whoever shows up, shows up.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll get like 1 or 2 people. Sometimes she'll get 12 or whatever. She'll get a ton of people. And they bring their crafts and they craft together. And then she has it once a month. I think it's a great idea. Right?
Yeah, that's really fun.
Give yourself that thing and then craft with other people. So that's what she does. So that's the cool part, too, is you get ideas from different people and ideas from different communities. And we all do something different. So
yeah, I have a craft friend who lives in Tennessee. And we just, anytime we go in the craft room, we Zoom each other and we just sit and chat while we craft. We're like, hey, you going in the craft room? Yep. So am I. All right, let's get on.
And that's great. That's kind of what we do in our circle. So yeah, it's great. It's just having the value in what people have said to us is not everyone has a community where there's lots of events they can go to, or they physically can't go for whatever reason. And that's the beauty of the online world. It's the beauty of summits. Like we're bringing people from all over the world together for a summit and to look and share. And that's even when technology doesn't work, like this morning when our website was down for about 20 minutes, it still opens up doors that we never had before. And that's so cool.
Absolutely. Before COVID, like I think most things were in person. And when COVID came around, that's when me and my friends all went virtual. We, that's when we started all the Zoom meetings and stuff like that. And I just think it's really taken off since then.
It opened up doors. Absolutely. It's opened up and created relationships. I've been working online for a very long time, but it definitely made it more mainstream. Like what was, kind of in a small community of online world has made it mainstream and opened it up to things that we wouldn't have anticipated, like crafting together. So it has really opened up that. Any other questions for Pam or for us? Debbie wakes up with card ideas. I'm sure other people do too. Wake up in the morning and have a card idea. And definitely make sure you download, if you're VIP, go in and get Pam's guide. But also if you're not a VIP, just the coloring guide is a great thing for people to learn how to color and do that. I'm a color pencil artist. That's what I did before. So anything that has, it's the similar ideas of depths and thoughts. So I love to use alcohol inks. I was scared at first, and I decided I had to just go for it. I was once told it's just paper. It's very good
really
advice.
is.
Right.
And I do want to mention, when you do sign up for your downloads, be sure to check the bottom of the email. There's a little giveaway there that Lawn Fawn decided to sponsor with me, which is great.
Excellent. So so check your thing.
There you go.
People have asked about giveaways. We don't do giveaways as part of our summit, but if our speakers are doing it on their own outside of that, that's fine. So do that and check out as well. As we say, we don't do giveaways, but our sponsors can. So check out the 2 signups on the Meet the Speaker page for RB Kelly,
AB Riley,
Riley, something like that. and Riley and Co.
Which is Karen Burniston. Yes.
Yes. So check those out. You can sign up. They are doing a draw, but they're also giving you instruction sheets for things as well. So check them out. Check out all the freebies because there's a lot of stuff there. And if you're VIP, there's some amazing things in the VIP, like what Pam said. Some of the VIP gifts expire, some don't. They all expire eventually. Some of them expire in the first couple of days. There's a few that are only available during the summit, some of the discount codes and things like that. So go check them out, see what there is. If you're not a VIP, check out what's involved, because if you're going to make an order of certain things or you want some of this stuff, it's worth the cost of admission, for lack of a better word. And for our VIPs, we have our VIP fun crop with a twist tonight. And we have to get out and send you how to get onto it. We need to send those details to our speakers, and we need to send those details to our VIPs. So if you're a VIP, and you said you're coming to the crop, we're only sending it out to the people who said they're coming. If you're coming to the crop or you want to come to the crop, let us know. We're going to be sending out the details on how to join shortly at some point in time. There's so many who wanted in, we had to kind of go and redo a Zoom account. So that's why they haven't gone out yet. We had to think about how we're going to do this to get that many people in this time. So it's great. We're excited. It's a twist. It's going to be fun. It's going to challenge our beginners and challenge our experts as well. So we're excited for that. I'm sitting here making cards now. Fantastic, Wendy. It's great to do that. Yeah, that's the cool part too. You can make cards and listen and participate and do all those things. So we are in a great world of online environments. Any other questions that we can answer? Tracy and I are losing our voices.
Tracy's lost her mind a while ago. It's like, okay, we have to have our.
We have one more live
lunch break.
Do we have one more live or two more lives? Do we have one more live or two more lives, Tracy, today?
One more.
One more.
We have Andrea Lake,
who is in where is Andrea Lake? No, she's not in Hong Kong.
No.
We were going to do Jolita, had to cancel because she was sick, and she was in Hong Kong. So,
yes.
It's just, and that's the cool part. We have people from Hong Kong, Bolivia, Israel, Australia of our speakers. So a real good mix of speakers, which is fun.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Pam, so much for coming. Thank you for being part of our summit again. Thank you for thinking outside the box and doing something that is different, right? To use one thing and put it in another way. I think that's got a lot of inspiration for people. And
absolutely.
It's even given us an inspiration for our circle. So there you go.
There you go.
Guys, and do them with something that they're not intended for. And I know our circle members will love doing that. So
I can see Suzette there. She's probably like, oh God, what are they going to give to me now?
What are we going to make you do this time, Suzette? Suzette's one of our circle members. So, so we're thinking of something different each time for that. So if you haven't checked out the circle, check it out. If you're VIP, you get a month free. If you're not a VIP, you get 15% off. VIPs get 20% off for as long as you're a member. And it will be December will be our first year anniversary of it. And it's definitely been something fun for us to do and different than what we expected. So at least different than what I expected. So there you go. So thank you, Pam. We will be back at 5, Tracy?
Yes, ma'am.
There you go, 5. And for the VIPs, and we'll be sending you out the crop details shortly. I will admit I'm going to get something to eat before I do that, but we will be sending you out something shortly.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, and we will see you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.